But that's what I'm talking about. You can't let nobody else talk. He's over here stumbling over a damn acronym.
Say, guy with pussy testy, motherfucker.
And he was like, oh, they're never be no good. They're like Kentucky or some shit like that.
I'm curious to see where all
Get prepared to do a lot of scrolling.
So it's way on down there, right?
They're way down.
Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer, one Mr. Dr. Balls. What's up, homie? Been working out in the yard today?
Yeah, I've been busy on the farm all day long, Big Daddy.
Yeah, and we've also joined with Chad. Chad, you're feeling pretty good about things tonight. How do you feel?
I can't complain.
You look very relaxed. You look like things went very well for your team this weekend.
Yeah, they did pretty. They went pretty well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We've got quite a few really good games to talk about this weekend. Finally, it feels like, man, and I know we've had some good games throughout the season, but, man, there were some really good ones yesterday.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't exactly say that mine was a
No,
barn
you haven't
burner.
said a single word since I've been doing this. Are you with us? You talking?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I'm here.
Well, you got to talk, though. You got to, I mean, this is a show.
No,
we have to interact with one another.
I'm just watching. I'm just watching and making sure that I do everything that I'm supposed to do right now, Dickel.
48-20.
Oh, yeah, it was ugly. And Hunter was he was receptive to coming on with you, but he never responded back with a time.
Hunter's a very busy fellow, and I'm sure that he has a lot of things that he had kind of put off until USC season collapsed in one game.
and he went ahead and decided to do it all today.
Yeah, those playoff chances are not looking great right now.
It's so true, isn't it? I mean, after all
Doug, did you also schedule Tiggy for this episode? His Washington Huskies had a big game.
He's a USC fan now.
Oh, okay. Well,
I actually did. It's interesting that you mentioned him, though, because I did hit him up today, and I said, yo, and just to see if he'd respond back and tell him, quit being a fucking pussy and come on the podcast.
Yeah. He never responded.
There you go.
Well, no, he hasn't seen it yet.
No, okay. Well, at least he hadn't seen it yet.
That message is like 25 minutes old.
No, okay.
So, yeah, it was an interesting day of football. Alabama begged Arkansas to beat them.
They did.
And Arkansas said no thanks.
They took the chance away from them early, gave it back to them, and said, "Nah, never mind. We need this win. Coach Saban needs this win a lot more than Sam Pittman does."
This team's going to lose again. You know that, right, Shannon?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
You're talking about Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
Alabama has found
now
ways
Milroe
to win.
looks like Cam Newton.
A little bit. I think Cam was probably a little bit more mobile, but Cam also had a better O-line too. If we're talking about the Cam Newton that played for Auburn. You know, he played for Florida once until he stole that computer.
Okay, and a shout out to Mike Gibbs. Mike Gibbs, USC will also lose again.
Now, I don't doubt that.
Does everybody agree?
I mean, looking
at absolutely.
They're going to face Washington, right?
Yep.
And Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both of those teams should do quite well against the USC that I saw play the Notre Dame, which I didn't think was a spectacular Notre Dame team. I'm not saying that they're bad by any stretch of the imagination, but come on. We're starting to separate the wheat from the chaff at this point in the season.
I was telling Chad earlier, Notre Dame's ceiling is very high. Their floor is low enough to get beat on any given weekend, probably.
Yeah, like yesterday.
We are the most bipolar team in college football.
I mean, I don't know about that. Definitely has the potential to knock teams off. And I wasn't sure that Notre Dame would win this game, but I was sure of one thing: these kids were going to play their ass off because they had a chance at instant redemption. How many of us have a chance at instant redemption at any fucking day, ever?
Never.
But when you do,
I mean,
you're going to make the most of it typically.
I mean, I do kind of in my field of work.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in sales.
You're in
You're-
sales.
You're
What
a
kind of
hit- oh,
sales?
yeah.
What do you sell? Because Justin Pike is in sales too.
It's residential natural gas in Indiana. So, if you, as a customer of the utility, you get to choose where your actual gas comes from, so you can get a better price on your
I do
gas.
plumbing work for a living and run gas. So I know exactly how this whole process works.
So if I have a bad day, I can always go back out the next day and do well.
You have one of the easiest jobs that I can think of. I should get one of your jobs.
Oh,
Just drive around
I
and
love
talk to
my
people
job.
about gas. I mean, because the gas, residential gas is like crack. It sells itself.
And the company I work for, we have the lowest rate in the state per unit of gas. So
Could
it's
you
not
please
a hard
move
sale.
down here to Alabama? Spire's ripping us a new one right now.
Well, Alabama would have to deregulate first.
Well, I mean, why does that have to happen?
Because that's the only way you get to choose your gas supplier.
No, there's a lot of rich people that would lose money in that decision. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Indiana's awfully conservative, and we're deregulated here.
We're extremely conservative, but there's a lot of we're actually probably, if not one of the most crooked states in the union, as far as politicians being paid off and things like that being prevented from the customers, because there's a lot of money to be made through the utilities.
Who's worse, South Carolina, Alabama, or Louisiana as far as being crooked?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. Now the FBI, that their opinion is that Alabama is probably the more crooked. They tend to go after politicians here at a much greater rate. I mean,
but is it real?
In my lifetime alone? What the last out of the last 5 or 6 governors, we've had 4 of them go to jail, prison.
Yeah, but what's the value of it when the FBI says that somebody's more crooked than somebody else? Because the FBI is crooked as fuck.
Well, I mean,
crooked as fuck.
They're the law. I mean, how can the law be crooked, Doug? Come on,
my
now.
fucking law.
You're not supposed to be saying things like this in the microphone. Remember
No,
what happened to anti-media?
Now, here's the reason I brought up South Carolina is they've got a racket called Santee Cooper. Have y'all ever heard about it? And what this racket is where this power company owns like half the state, right, and controls all the dams on the 3 major rivers leading to one of the biggest ports in America. And you can't even really own your land if you live anywhere near it. You just have like a lease, right? You bought it, but somehow you only lease it from Santee Cooper, right? And it's basically, they basically own the whole southern half of the state of South Carolina, and it's you'd have to look into it. But it's one of the craziest rackets I ever seen, and it's the power company.
Now, what was the lawyer that murdered his family in South Carolina recently? Yeah, they were. I mean, that's a good example of what you're talking about there, as far as what goes on in that state. Because a lot of old boy shit obscured that for so long before they finally prosecuted it.
Oh yeah, there's shit there now. The as far as crooked locales, one individual spot, Nicholasville, Kentucky, takes the cake of anywhere outside of Chicago I ever been. In the South, right? Nicholasville, Kentucky's like a third world country. But if you're on the right side of it, you can get anything you want done. But if you're on the other side of it, you can't get nothing done.
So if I wanted to get like my ex-wife's house burnt down or something, that'd be a good place to
I mean, just whatever it is, as long as you're on the right side of the crookedness, you can get, like I said, anything you wanted done. I mean, really. I mean, this is the town that Andrew Thornton came from, the guy that parachuted down into Tennessee with all the cocaine and the buried him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, so it's not like I was there and remember that, but I remember reading about it.
What else happened yesterday, guys?
A lot of football, a lot of great football. Particularly if you're somebody like myself that hates Auburn football. LSU's back, I guess, for some reason.
They were this week, weren't they?
They looked great against Auburn's. I think Auburn has the worst offense in the SEC.
Yeah,
worse than Kentucky.
I mean, I'm not just saying that just because I absolutely fucking detest Auburn, but they do now officially carry the title of the worst offense in the SEC. And I'm saying this as an Alabama fan. We're not doing much better. We
Okay,
won
so
yesterday's game 88th in the country in total offense. So.
Dr. Balls, what's going
Yeah.
on up in Kentucky, man? I'm seeing a lot of Kentucky fans calling for Stoops' head. What's going on?
I don't think it's Stoops' fault that receivers can't catch the football and the quarterback can't throw it. Right? I mean, they went and got Devin Leary through the transport portal because he'd done well at NC State, and they thought if they provided him the kind of offensive line and running backs support around him that you could get at a place like Kentucky, that he'd do well. But he either can't hit the receiver, or when he does hit them, they can't catch it. And we had 2 freshmen All-Americans at wide receiver. They were last year freshmen All-American. They can't catch football to save their lives. So I don't believe that's his fault. But people have big expectations because on paper we look like we'd be a good football team. But I'm telling you something that is Stoops' fault is that we had a dig collapse and we're crushed. We were crushed utterly straight up by Georgia. It's undeniable. But then they come into Missouri with a chance to win and got out coached and didn't put the effort out they should. They just collapsed. They just gave up. And I just think it's embarrassing. You had a team that should have won at least 10-2. Probably be lucky to go 7-5, 8-4 now because they've collapsed and they got to play Tennessee. They ain't getting no easier the next few weeks. And if they don't stand up and man up, it's going to be a tough season, and they'll be in the also Ran Bowl. Now, I mean, their own destiny is in their hands. They can finish the year out 9-3, 10-2, depending if they put out an honest effort. But if they don't, hell, I heard people talk about Urban Meyer.
So tell me this.
Y'all are smoking some good shit up there in Kentucky, dude.
No, there's some money in Lexington now. There's some money in Lexington, and they got a taste of winning football that they had before.
Urban Meyer is going to Lexington, Kentucky.
So tell me this: how much of this is about last week and the shit that he said that pissed everybody off?
I don't think he lied to anybody. I don't think none of it's about that. I think everybody agrees with him. Is that if we want to compete for the next tier of the SEC, especially now that Oklahoma and Texas are joining, we're going to spend money on an equal level of those schools, just like we do in basketball. Obviously, we spend plenty of money in basketball. We got the number 1 recruit.
Yeah, but that's what that was what
6 years in Kentucky, correct?
What's that now?
Hey guys, if Notre Dame was in the SEC this year, we would have the worst offense.
Maybe.
Kentucky's is only slightly better than Iowa's, but we do have the best running back in the SEC. But he can't win the whole game by himself. I mean, Ray Davis is a hell of a player, guys. But I mean, if them guys would catch half the passes that were thrown to them, if they had a 50% success rate of catching the football, then it'd be certainly we'd have won the game yesterday. And they're open. He throws it. They drop it, right? And then he's not so great himself. I don't know what Devin Leary's deal is, but if you hear on TV and social media, you suck. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. He ain't Jalen she's not Milroe, because Milroe, buddy, he'll throw her deep. I like Milroe.
He was okay against Arkansas again, and you just said it. The quarterback does not win the game all by himself. We've seen this time and time again. Hell, Bo Nix will take that.
Yeah, he still lost yesterday.
A whole new situation. They had to get a whole new scene. You know, and,
what I don't understand about what I don't understand about Notre Dame is you bring in Sam Hartman and then you have a dismal offense all season long. It doesn't make sense to me. We wouldn't have won that game yesterday if we didn't have the defense that we have.
Now, is that the only defense USC will see all year, Chad?
It's going to be the best defense they're going to see all year.
Oh, I'd say. You know, and what I understand about Notre Dame is I think y'all I figured you'd have more success running and they can do more play action with Hartman. And I think that's how they can score. That's how they can make big plays. But otherwise, man, when the defense wins, hell, the 86 Giants and the 90 Giants were great teams. They didn't have great offenses, but they had powerhouse defenses. Obviously, the Pac-12 ain't as great as they said they were.
Well, guys, let's hear from our friends over at Bones Coffee.
Let's do it.
What's the difference between these 2 identical cups of coffee? Everything. Everything. Boring basic coffee is leaving you dead inside. Thank the Dark Lord, there's Bones Coffee. Small batch, full-bodied coffee infused with the most mind-melting flavors in the world. Or underworld.
Oh, I've had flavored coffee.
Oh, I've had flavored coffee before. You haven't had Welcome to the highly caffeinated, slightly wicked, and immortally delicious world of Bones. Our mad coffee scientists have twisted nature to their demented wills.
It's alive!
With frightfully delicious flavors like from dusk till donuts.
It's a taste I can really sink my teeth into.
Mint invaders.
I don't mean to probe, but how did you make this coffee taste like ice cream?
And electric unicorn.
Like eating fruity cereal. Yeah!
At Bones Coffee, we'll try just about every flavor combo out there.
Cannolis, salted pretzels, strawberry cheesecake.
The ones we love are made into small batches, roasted to order, and delivered directly to you. But the others... Rest in peace, Beanfish. We've got over 30 killer concoctions. So French press that link to find your new flavored coffee. There's more to life than pumpkin spice. But yeah, we smashed that pumpkin too. We also have comforting classic coffee if the flavored stuff is too scary. At Bones, our beans are complex and multidimensional.
I have opinions.
Which makes for rich, smooth, jaw-droppingly good Joe. Stop drinking hot bean water and resurrect your caffeine routine. You can Bones at home, Bones at work, or Bones during your commute. Go to bonescoffee.com and check out our thousands of spooktacular 5-star reviews. If committing to one flavor gives you the heebie-jeebies, try our sample packs, a shocking selection of our most hauntingly delicious blends. Or join the coffee club and get new flavors delivered as often as you'd like. It's time to break from boring. Click the link to get yourself a bag of Bones today.
I think it's time we all join the coffee club.
I think it is too. I've got coffee right now. I personally Bones. I've been waiting for my Bones coffee to arrive in the mail. As a contributor to their product, as far as getting it out, getting the word out there about what a delicious coffee it is.
Bones Coffee Girl. She's fucking hot, ain't she? She's hot, isn't she?
She kind of reminds me of an amalgamation of both of my wives, and then if you tweaked up the hot just a little bit. Between the two of them, both of them brunettes, and yeah, I was able to see both of their buttholes.
Goodness, that's special, but not like
it don't taste at all. It really don't. Gotta wash it first.
All right.
Hey, Sean.
What's up,
Sean?
Yeah, Shannon. It's Shannon.
Oh, Shannon. Sorry, I'm sorry.
It says Shan, but it's actually Shannon. You can call me Sean. You can call me Shin.
Okay, I can call you Shannon.
Do you eat ass?
You can call him fuckwad if you want to.
So, do you eat ass?
Or
yes.
dickhole. I call him dickhole sometimes.
Yes. Doug is the very first person, long before South Park had latched onto it, became like a popular thing in the lexicon. Doug had been using dickhole for many
I figured
years.
if you could call somebody an asshole, you can certainly call him a dickhole.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But Shannon, I got a pretty hot wife myself.
Yeah, you showed us pictures of your wife. I didn't masturbate to it.
Pictures.
And really, to be fair, who I masturbate to or who I don't masturbate to, that's my business. I'm just going to keep it at that. Remember, what's her name? Nicole Eckerd from what was that? Charles in Charge.
Oh,
yeah. Post Charles in Charge when she was of age. Of course, I'm the same age as her, so it didn't matter. I can lust about her, as long as we're both alive.
Now, what Charles Chachi?
Yeah, he was.
Yes,
he's canceled now.
Damn.
Apparently he was into Nicole Eckert too, but he was like 10, 15 years older than her and like cast to be her babysitter. And really that was out of all the fantastical 80s sitcoms, Charles in Charge definitely had to be like the wildest of all of them. That some random dude, college dude was going to come babysit this hot little 13-year-old blonde.
Wasn't the dude from Eight Is Enough on there too? The older kid.
Yeah, Willie something or another.
So it was wilder than Soap. It was wilder than Soap, even with Billy Crystal.
Look, Soap was pretty wild, but Soap also had, a real sense of humor. There was not really, even though it was a sitcom, there wasn't a great sense of humor in Charles in Charge. It's not known for its groundbreaking.
I mean, it was up there. It was up there, right in line with Blossom, I think.
But I don't know. She's the Boss with Suzanne Summers when she played the sheriff was a little funnier, in my opinion.
Didn't Suzanne Summers just die today?
I don't want to talk.
Oh my God, that'd be awful.
No, she did.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's sad.
Them thighs, even when she was like in her 70s, them thighs were like, God.
Hold up.
I would have railed her in her 70s.
Is she in her 70s?
We should at least hung out.
Oh yeah, she was in her 40s.
76.
70 anymore.
Okay. Well, she's not anymore.
Good.
Suzanne Summers, she was cool.
No disrespect, but she's dead on a hammer right now.
So,
Damn it, Jim.
I hate this part of my life where everybody around me dies.
Well,
All of my heroes are all dead. Charles Bronson, gone. John Wayne, out of here.
John Bronson died years ago, man.
Elvis.
You were still a kid. You were still a kid when he died.
Bruce Lee.
Elvis. What about Elvis, man? I remember when Elvis died. Him and Bing Crosby died at the same time, and there was people that ate up everywhere over it.
And Groucho Marx. Remember the bit in what was that? The Devil's Rejects, the Rob Zombie film. Excellent film. Probably the only film by Rob Zombie that I truly love. There's a couple of them that he's done I like, but that one I truly love that film.
Elvis died on the throne, did he not?
That's what I heard.
He was a bit high.
No, he died on the throne because he's the fucking king.
But he was a bit high, and he was. You ever been high on the toilet? Doug's never been high on the toilet because Doug doesn't Doug's gonna outlive all of us.
I've been drunk on the toilet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've all.
I did acid one time. I was sitting on the toilet and I watched the tiles on the floor.
High on acid or something a lot stronger than just regular plain old alcohol. Sitting on the toilet, it's a whole different experience.
Well, for mainly it's just beer for me, but back to football. What happened? God damn it! I did not pay attention after Alabama. I just said fuck this and I turned it off.
Let's talk about Jimbo Fisher for half a second and how the narrative has finally caught up. And we've been talking about firing Jimbo Fisher for quite some time because
I've been saying it for 2 years and getting ridiculed for it. Basically saying that he is on the hot seat.
The problem is though, is that if you do the math, I think he's still owed somewhere north of $80 million.
Jeez,
Oh,
he's going to just shovel $80 million out there. There's going to be some massive upheaval as far as coordinators go.
You know what he needs? He needs to have an affair with his secretary.
Yeah, he needs to get in a
something so they can get him out for more on the moral clause.
Yeah.
So who's out there that can replace him?
He's going to be at church on Sunday, every Sunday.
You know what we're going to send the Bones Coffee chick over there.
If he doesn't start winning some games, he might want to pick a different church. I'm just saying.
Chad, what's Notre Dame got left?
We got Pitt, Clemson, Wake Forest, and Stanford.
Pitt had a very unusual win yesterday that they weren't supposed to have. Pitt's good for that every once in a while.
I don't see them losing any of those games. I know what I said earlier that they're subject to lose on a given day, especially against a team they're not supposed to beat. And there's a lot of teams in that list that you just. So there's 4 games left. Did you say Pitt? Who else did you say?
Right.
I said Pitt, Clemson, Wake Forest, and Stanford.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
There's not a game in there that they should lose. I mean, I guess Clemson's technically capable, but they're where's that game at? Clemson and Notre Dame.
It's in South Carolina.
Oh, I think Clemson is probably their best shot at losing. But they typically don't lose to the good team. The teams that really show up on their radar. So if they do lose, it'll probably be Wake Forest or Pitt. And I don't think they're going to.
I think we go 10-2.
Yeah,
I think we'll go 10-2. But this is going to be an unpopular opinion, especially among Notre Dame fans. But I don't think 10-2 is going to be good enough for New Year's Six for us this year.
Maybe.
I see us in probably like
there's a lot of teams at the upper echelon there, the top 20 that are going to have to play one another.
I mean, I think
So
if they would have lost to, I mean, I guess it really depends on a few things. It depends on how good USC does the rest of the way, because USC is going to be a very strong win. If USC wins out,
they won't. USC, there's no way USC wins out.
Did you hear that, Mike Gibbs?
I think USC loses a minimum of 3 games.
You may be right, but if as a Notre Dame fan, if you want a New Year's Six, I'd be pulling for USC, because that's going to be a strong win if they win out.
Chad, you just brought up Stanford a minute ago. Anybody want to talk about the Colorado game for half a second and some of the narrative that is being slung about there?
There was a Colorado game this week.
There was.
I didn't watch the game, but I know Colorado was up 29-0 at half.
They were.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had turned their TVs off at that point or started watching, something else in the background, pulling up some reruns, checking their email. And then while they were checking their email, Colorado turned around and lost the game.
Goodness.
And played their ass off to lose that game.
And they so there's a lot of crazy narratives about that, but I mean, any way you slice it, Sanders has been
Colorado
good.
is still overperforming, though. Colorado still is coming back from a 1-win, not 1 loss, 1-win season.
Yes, I agree.
Everybody needs to calm the fuck down. I mean, Deion just got there. There's a lot of transfers and a lot of portal players, and you can win a few games with that. But even Lane Kiffin will tell you the breaks are going to come off at some point in time, particularly if you have no defense or little to no defense, which Colorado pretty much does. So I don't know. I still think Deion's doing a great job there. I think everybody needs to calm down a little bit, but it has been. I don't know. It's kind of been a little painful to watch the deflation and ego from the just absolute just dragging his balls across the ground to quietly and a lot of that coach speech about I disappointed this person and I disappointed that person. It all falls down on me and blah blah this and this that and the other and so on and so forth and yada yada. So I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. I'm interested to see what they're going to be capable of here in the next couple of years, particularly when they switch conferences.
They go to Big 12, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
There's no room for we have too many teams.
My second favorite team is a Big 12 team.
Who's that?
Oh man, they're having a terrible season.
No,
the Bearcats.
Hey, you brought it up. You could have just let that sleeping dog lie, but you said my second favorite team, which is
Cincinnati.
The Bearcats.
Scott Satterfield, what do you think about him?
Oh, he's awful.
How in the world do y'all downgrade Scott Satterfield? I mean, he was at Louisville, couldn't beat Kentucky. I never have understood that. I thought Cincinnati would get somebody a little better. I mean, especially the way they did with the coach they had, it was proved that Cincinnati could go at least to the CFP if they had the right coach. So I'm surprised Cincinnati didn't try to do better.
They didn't want to fork over the dollars, but they could have gotten Deion, I'm telling you.
That would have been special. And you could have recruited. See, well, a lot of people don't know is Cincinnati's in the middle of a huge, ripe amount of recruiting territory. I mean, Cincinnati's between Lexington and Louisville on one side, Indianapolis on the other, Columbus. I mean, the whole southeastern Ohio region, that's ripe territory. I mean, if you can recruit at Cincinnati just locally, you can be competitive.
That's what Auburn fans.
I don't disagree.
Auburn fans say that, we could have got Deion if we wanted to, and they did. There's no way Deion Sanders would have come to Auburn now. Cincinnati, maybe. I mean, yeah, that's a big town.
It would have been a big statement, though, for him to take over Auburn, though, especially culturally, right? It would have said a lot about Auburn, and it would have shown positively on Auburn. So I think it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but for Dion to get his coaching debut, big time coaching debut in big time football in the SEC, particularly in the SEC West, he knew better than that.
You know, Auburn's a top 15 program, so
I'm not saying that Auburn is a trash. Well, yeah, I am, but you know, I mean, as far as attracting that caliber of coach, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Lane Kiffin even flirted with the job there for a minute. Auburn did.
Well, guys, we'll be back here in a second.
I'll always take care of you. Hey, little bear bear. You gonna be a good boy?
Don't worry, darling, about the rest of our lives.
From this day
Through thick and thin,
Come on, bear.
I'll be there by your side.
I'm gonna love you forever.
Hey, bear.
I'll be there. You don't have to worry.
It's Halloween, and you forgot the candy.
Trick or treat!
Don't be spooked. Grubhub has you covered.
You look amazing!
It's Halloween, saved by Grubhub.
Guys, let's have some pizza!
Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. Okay, so where were we? Doug?
Grubhub. That's the last thing I seen.
Is this something you subscribe to?
I haven't got anything from Grubhub in a year or two.
I did the.
Hey, do you know what the bum scam that has to do with Grubhub? So what you do if you're a bum is they've got the carry out area at McDonald's or whatever, where the Grubhub guys come and pick the shit up. So you just walk in McDonald's like you're a Grubhub guy and grab 2 or 3 bags and go on. I watched it happen 4 days ago.
Grubhub hat or get some kind of Grubhub identification, like maybe a T-shirt or something.
No, they got them in there. They look like everything from Rob Halford to LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the motherfuckers, they want money to bring you your shit.
Yeah.
I mean, above and beyond the shit you have to pay for the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go pick you up some McDonald's. Like, if you called me up right now, because I live across town from you, I don't live across the street anymore, and said, "Hey, could you go get me some McDonald's?" I would expect some kind of recompense.
Yeah, and they probably want a tip too. God damn.
Yeah.
It's a rough economy out there.
It is.
Everybody's got their hand out. Everybody's
it's a go get your own kind of a food kind of economy.
Everybody's trying to support their addiction, eating.
Yeah. Light bill and that gas we were talking about, the chat cells.
I used to work for one of their competitors.
You can name them. I don't care.
DoorDash.
Yeah, fuck DoorDash.
For who? Oh,
said it.
That said it all, right?
I got different reasons to say fuck DoorDash, but it has nothing to do with DoorDash. It's really not their fault. They're a very nice company. I'm just saying that.
But they'll deliver anything, won't they?
Yeah, they'll deliver anything to your house, not just food.
Will they deliver a dildo if you really wanted one?
Yeah,
maybe it depends on if that's one of those what is it contributing vendors.
Yeah, I got you.
If one of the places that your DoorDash services sells that sort of thing.
So we got a guy that's supposed to come on tonight, but I can't find him anywhere. I'm looking everywhere and I don't see him. I'm looking for Austin Parrish, but he's over on the West Coast, and them West Coast people. So what's happening? What's happening next week?
Some football.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to remember what I know. Tennessee and Alabama play, and I'm
Tennessee.
concerned
Nothing.
about that game. As a Bama fan, I'm concerned because
Tennessee won.
yeah, they won this week.
They did.
I'm definitely concerned about Tennessee because Alabama is they're begging to lose right now, and
Mhm.
Tennessee is definitely. If Arkansas is good enough to almost pull it off, Tennessee's definitely good enough to pull it off.
Tennessee throws the ball, don't they?
Not really. They got a running quarterback, and he's not Hendon Hooker. I mean, Milton is all right, but he's more of a running quarterback. They're kind of balanced, and they got a power running game on top of him. I don't think that it's going to be a high scoring affair. I think it's going to look a lot like Texas A&M and Alabama looked.
I have no problem with that as long as that Alabama's in the win column on that one. Because
I have not watched Tennessee this year.
Alabama's chances of winning the SEC are going to diminish greatly.
Yeah, Tennessee's turned into a read option team. They look about like Utah last year, if you ask me. They're not really a big passing team. I mean, they lost a lot of their talent to the NFL and to the transfer portal as far as the speed on the outside. And I think that I just think it's going to be a great matchup with Alabama. And like I said, I mean, imagine if Cam Newton had actually played when he was a freshman instead of like transferring around and junior college. That's where Milroe is at as a young player. I mean,
Going to his daddy's church.
Yeah. So if you look at Milroe right now, he's stuck in a situation where he's got no running game and he's getting beat to death, but he's a big old boy, right? So if I love his arm, heart. I don't believe Tennessee's going to stop him, man. I just wish Alabama could run the football. If Alabama could run the football just a little bit, right? What was it, 23 yards on Saturday?
It wasn't great.
If they could run the football just a little bit, I mean,
Milroe had like minus 17 rushing yards, even though he had a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. He still had like minus 17 yards on net.
Now, look at Milroe. Has you ever seen a player so young that had so much responsibility for winning? I mean, he's the whole team for Alabama on offense, right?
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of people figured Chase McClellan was going to do more than he's been capable of doing this season. Of course, they have spread the ball around a little bit when they have been capable of running, but it hasn't been much. And there has been a little bit of little bit of plays in the air that have got me as an Alabama fan excited about what we're capable of. But I mean, this point in the season, we should have reached our capability, particularly offensively, better now because we're still not doing great at all. So,
but the defense is there.
Right, we could drop another game, but this is one of those classic Saban defenses. Not the very best that he's ever had by any means, but this is a good one. And some games that we probably shouldn't have this year. Texas game a little bit closer than it could have gotten.
So to follow up the Notre Dame loss, USC has Utah coming to Los Angeles. Utah's capable of going over and beating USC, especially if they're down in the dumps over the Notre Dame loss. So USC could get their second loss this week.
I'd like to see it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I would expect them to lose to one of the better teams, but they could be flat this week, and Utah is definitely capable. So I'm going to be watching that one. I've got that one circled.
Have to get Sky's Anastasia on for that one.
I mean, if Utah beats USC, we'll never hear the end of it from Sky.
No. In fact, we'll probably have to give him a weekly segment after that.
Yep.
As
much as we hate to.
Me personally, I think I kind of owe it to him, particularly for taking the group away from it that one time.
Yep. But him and Mike Gibbs talk all the time now, so they're both over it.
Are they dating yet?
Yeah, I see them in threads talking to one another all the time now.
Yeah, as much as they argue, they should just go ahead and start dating. Mike needs to find somebody nice in his life. I worry about Mike.
Mike, what do you think about that? I know Mike's listening. But
That's
anyway.
right. Break it down for us, Big Daddy.
Probably just.
What's next for Kentucky, Bob?
What do the kids call that these days? Just talk.
Yes.
Hell, what's next for Kentucky? I think that they are playing not Tennessee. Shit. Hell, I had a brain fart right
Up on Kentucky, haven't you? You don't even fucking care anymore.
No, I'm just so wounded by what
Okay,
I think they play.
Okay, I got it.
It.
No, I pulled it up, and they are off this week. And
It's
they
a bye,
return.
that's right.
Guaranteed not to lose. So you can breathe easy now.
They return Saturday, October 28th, to play Tennessee, and I believe
That's
one's
right.
in Lexington.
I knew Tennessee was next, and when y'all said that Alabama and Tennessee played that, I said, well, it's the third weekend in October, so they ought to do, or whatever it is. But I knew Tennessee was next for us, and maybe a week off and give them time to recoup and beat the hated Volunteers, because surely they can fucking come up, decide they hate the Volunteers enough to show up and play football. That's what I hope.
What you should hope for is that Tennessee actually beats Alabama, and they come in and play flat in Lexington, which should be a winnable game.
I think Alabama's going to beat up on Tennessee. I think they'll be banged up after playing Alabama, because Alabama's power football. So
it'll be a physical game. There's a lot of emotions in that game because Tennessee sucks.
And they got lucky and beat y'all last year thanks to Bryce Young throwing the dirt on 3 consecutive plays.
We talked about that last year, and there's no reason to bring that back up. Thanks.
Next for Auburn, the number 13 Ole Miss Rebels show up at Jughead Stadium this weekend
and
to play the Auburn Tigers.
For the conversation about that next Auburn loss with their no offense. None.
I can't see them beating Ole Miss, because Ole Miss will score. Even if Auburn's defense plays great, Ole Miss scores 21 at the least, and Auburn scores 10?
Yeah, that'd be about right.
And look, they might actually get a pick six. Who knows? So we'll give them 17 in this one. Auburn will score at least 17 points. It's all Ole Miss has to do is score 18 points. I think they can do that.
All right. All right. So Notre Dame, I'm going to pull them up and see what's coming next. Okay. So Notre Dame. Yeah, we got a bye for Notre Dame, and then Pitt comes to South Bend on the 28th. So I don't know much about Pitt, so we're fixing to find out about them fuckers. Let's see here. Pitt.
Again, God, who did they play this weekend? It was a ranked team.
Oh yeah.
Help me here.
No, Pitt.
Oh. They beat the dog shit out of Louisville.
Hell yeah.
Bob, be all over that. You hate Louisville.
Oh, I know. I thought that's what happened, but since they just beat,
I'm telling you, man, this Kentucky loss really took the wind out of your sails tonight.
It did it. I think it was bullshit, man. I just think they come out like that and made those kinds of mistakes. I'm just so disappointed.
Well, I have to credit you. At least you came on the podcast and you brought your A game.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
All right, so we got to invite.
Can I ask Chad something here?
B+.
Now, Chad, let me ask you now. Since Hunter crowed so loudly last week on the podcast about Notre Dame being done and USC was going to do this and that, I think you should crow equally as loud here on the podcast now that y'all gut stomped USC. Don't you?
I agree with that.
I agree, and he's going to do it right after these messages.
Hi, this is Kyle Golick, and I'm standing in the middle of SEC country. We're over here. Big Ten country here. Where do I stand? SEC, Big Ten. SEC, Big Ten. You're listening to the Smacking Off the Podcast.
Seasoning, food's favorite flavor.
Yum, yum, get you some.
I'm Joe Burrito, your favorite burrito. Whoa.
Joe,
hey.
We all know you're the best.
What?
You can always do better. Try the new Dano's Hot Chipotle.
Hey. Ooh, that's spicy. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, get you some.
Howdy. All right. He's dancing. We like it.
I had to step out for a moment. Okay.
Well, I think he said that USC was going to win by 21.
Yes.
And Notre Dame.
As a recap, we're talking about Hunter. This is the president of College Football Dogs, who appeared on the show talking some loud shit about his USC Trojans, correct?
Yeah, and Notre Dame did him one better by beating them by 28.
We like that.
Yeah, I love that.
Spread them cheeks, big boy.
We didn't just beat USC. We drug them through the fucking mud.
Do you remember? Do you ever see Curb Your Enthusiasm, the Larry David show?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that show. Do you remember the when God, what's his name the fellow that lives with him, the black fella? Help me. What's his name? Anyways, the monologue about when Larry went to the doctor's office and somebody called him a bald faggot or something like that, and he basically tells him that he needed to get in that ass. He needed to rip the hole open, step inside, throw a bunch of trash around it, spray paint, this, that, and the other. When you step out, leave it open to let him know that you've been there, that you've been up in that ass.
That's what Notre Dame did to USC.
I think Pat Dye said it correctly. What actually happened is Notre Dame took USC's manhood.
Did. But look. To be fair, you can take it in the ass and still be a man.
Yeah, it's a proven fact.
True story.
Yeah.
You ever see Brokeback Mountain?
No, I did not.
No.
I missed that one, man.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, both.
It's on my list, man. It really is. As soon as they open the video store back up over here, we don't have a video store anymore.
Nobody has a video store anymore.
Really? Are you serious?
No, there was a Blockbuster.
It's not just me.
What?
I'm not the only one missing the video store.
I'm not missing it.
I mean, I haven't seen one in a long time. I really haven't.
Brokeback Mountain up on 3 different devices right now.
Goodness.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get it at the video store. It's better at the video store.
They've got it there. They've got it on DVD now. Do you have a DVD player? I'll let you borrow mine.
What is that? What's a DVD?
One of those compact disc looking things. I know you know what a compact disc is.
I've never heard of one.
We've made compact discs together.
I use a PS2 for that.
Bob, have you seen Brokeback Mountain?
No, I have not seen Brokeback Mountain.
Okay, so there's 3 people on here haven't seen it. Shannon, how many times have you seen it?
It's a cowboy picture.
Yeah, it is a cowboy picture. Yes.
Cowboy.
Except for that part in the tent.
It's just never been high on my list of movies to watch. Sorry.
It's a cowboy picture. You don't like cowboy pictures?
Honestly, I'm not a big Western fan. No.
Give me some other cowboy people. John Wayne. Man, that's an American institution right there. You've seen a John Wayne picture, haven't you? This is just like a John Wayne picture, except different.
Very good.
Yeah. I've seen a couple John Wayne movies.
Thankfully, John Wayne wasn't alive when this movie was made because he would have had a fucking fit.
I don't know. He was probably a libertarian. He probably would tell him to go for it.
Oh man, he was about as red state as you won't get, baby. Come on.
So was Rock Hudson.
He was a Democrat back when they were,
Yeah, like Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson was a Democrat.
You remember the Grammy Award thing with the Indian girl that got up?
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah, he got hard R about it, baby.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to pull up the games from this week, and we'll see what's coming. I know we've talked about some of them, but I know we had to have forgotten something.
Maybe. UAB's not going to a bowl this year. I'm pretty bummed about that. The rate they're going, they have to win out to go to a bowl now.
What's their record?
It's like 2-5. They lost Saturday. And they lost spectacularly.
Who's coaching them?
Trent Dilfer.
Oh yeah,
49ers quarterback.
Yeah,
come on, man.
I forgot.
Coach Dilfer. This is the Dilfer dynasty.
Oh yeah, Marshall's doing good.
Cowboy dynasty right now.
All right, so Friday night we've got some huge games. Middle Tennessee at Liberty.
Liberty's just outside of being ranked right now without Hugh Freeze. I think that's quite.
But
I think that's a testament to how great of a situation he left him there.
Sorry, did I say Friday? Friday, I meant Tuesday. These are Tuesday fucking games.
Tuesday games.
Tuesday.
I'm lying.
Southern Miss at South Alabama. Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky at Jacksonville State.
Goodness.
Okay, I'm going to skip the
State. That's Rich Rod.
I'm skipping the Wednesday games, the Thursday games, and the Friday games.
Rich Rod is still coaching in Alabama, though. Isn't that ironic?
It's amazing.
So, we have not mentioned this game, and this is a huge game coming up. We've got number 7 Penn State going to the Horseshoe to play number 3 Ohio State.
That's a huge game.
And that is an 11 a.m. That's an 11 a.m. kick on Fox. Very early game, and
they look great against UMass.
Now, why the hell are they kicking off at 11 a.m.? They're in Eastern time. I mean, Columbus is in the Eastern time, so I mean, Jesus Christ, man, you know what I mean?
And this game,
I'm calling it now. Ohio State gets their first loss of the year.
Maybe.
You think
shut out Chicago?
That's really going to put a target on James Franklin's back, and he doesn't do good in that situation. I don't know.
This game would have been in 2017. This would have been a huge game, and there'll be people looking at it this year. But UCF is going to Oklahoma to play the number 6 undefeated Sooners, and that is also an 11 a.m. kick. So we got some really good games starting out the day.
But
these are 12 a.m. kicks for me.
Does UCF, are they going to have anything to deliver Oklahoma? Oklahoma seems to be on a tear right now.
UCF's not going to win at Oklahoma, but it could be a good game.
There, remember that.
All right, so Tennessee at Alabama. That's a 2:30 kick. CBS. South Carolina at Missouri. Does anybody give a fuck?
I don't know, man, because Missouri's kind of been hovering around the outside there. Had a big win yesterday.
That's right. They're second in the East.
Yeah, I mean they're really. I don't know. I'm kind of pulling for Missouri a little bit this year. I don't know why.
No, number 8 Texas heads over to Houston to play the Houston Cougars, which is now a Big 12 team.
At this point in the season, I need Texas to win out. You know what I mean, baby?
That game will be over by halftime.
Yeah.
Michigan goes to Michigan State. Michigan State is a fucking dumpster fire.
Michigan State is a fucking dumpster. Who'd they lose to yesterday? Was it Rutgers? Yeah. Yeah, Rutgers. And this is not a good Rutgers team.
Okay.
Rutgers is on pace to go bowling this year.
Okay, now I know that Chad's wife is a Florida State fan. Number 16 Duke goes to Florida State this week, and that is an interesting game because Duke is definitely capable of making it a game.
Florida State is in the top 4. Can you believe that?
But
would you have imagined at the beginning of the season that Florida State would be hovering around the top 4?
I do think they're going to drop a game, and so I've got this one circled because this is definitely one that could.
I think it's going to be a really good game, but I think Florida State pulls out the win at towards the end of the game.
Are you saying that to make your wife happy, or you really believe that?
No, I do. I mean, Florida State's got a lot of weapons.
So, do you think Florida State makes the CFP this year?
I do. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they'll win a CFP game, but I think they'll get in.
I got you. Here's an interesting game, guys. And this is weird for this time of year. I really can't believe this game just don't look right to me. Army is going to LSU.
Goodness.
What a fucking weird time of the year for Army to go to LSU.
Well, that's a big paycheck for the military academy.
It is, but once the conference games start, you typically don't see a conference break in any of the schedules until November.
So that's rare.
It's very odd.
And again, because of post-COVID, this might have been some kind of rescheduling or something like that. You never know. There's probably a different reason for them to schedule that game at this point in time of the season.
It's starting to happen though. A lot of changes in schedules because you've got all this change going on. You've got Oklahoma and Texas coming in next year. There's a lot of stuff happening. I mean, this ain't the only thing that I've seen that's odd this year, but it's definitely odd. Number 14, Utah at number 18, USC. Definitely a potential second loss for USC. Here's one that I'm looking at. Clemson goes to Miami this week, which Miami's not really a dumpster fire. Miami is definitely capable of shocking people, but to beat Clemson
really wants to win this game.
They do, but these teams are pretty compatible, I think.
Yeah, pretty evenly matched. Yeah.
So being at Miami, I'd have to favor Miami. I'd have to say Miami should win this game.
They're playing good ball right now. There's no reason they shouldn't win the game, but I don't know. I at this point in time in the season, this would be a huge win to shut everybody the fuck up. As far as Dabo Swinney is concerned, so I don't know. This would be a great one for them to win.
Of course, he could have shut everybody up by beating. What was the team that beat their ass early in the year? Was it Georgia Tech?
Florida State? No. Duke.
Oh yeah. Duke handled them. So I mean, if he can get his ass handed to him by Duke, he can definitely lose at Miami.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I think Duke's better than Miami.
Whether it can happen. I mean, this is a game that Miami should be able to control.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. Duke is better than Miami, but that was early in the year. I don't know. Miami could really use this win. I don't mean they're going to pull it off, but I look at this game and nothing jumps out at me. I don't look at it and say, well, Clemson definitely wins at Miami, because Miami, they just fucked around and lost to Georgia Tech. They really had outplayed Georgia Tech big time, but they fucking left. They left.
Yeah, but we're talking about Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
Georgia Tech's a bottom feeder.
True.
It's true, but I still give Miami a shot. I don't know what the line is. I'm gonna have to look at that, but I still say Miami has a shot at home. Not just a shot, but I think they should be able to pull it off.
Hell yeah!
I think Clemson wins.
Now, Bob, are you still a Miami fan, or have you cut ties?
Oh yeah, I still follow them. I think that Miami has a chance in this game. They got a good offensive line. They got a solid secondary, decent running game. I think Clemson has a lot of holes since they're at Miami. If they have a good crowd, I think they could win a close game, maybe like 24 to 23, like that. I don't believe Clemson has anybody offensively that's breakout or that's going to beat you, right? They have to scheme their guys open, and the scheme isn't really anything new. It might be Miami's year to beat Clemson. I mean, Clemson needs a wake-up call if they want to continue to be talked about like they were when they were contending with Alabama. They have to beat Miami, but I don't think they will.
So let's go ahead and make a commitment right here. If Miami beats Clemson, next week's episode will be called "The U Is Back."
We'd like you to be back because
is everybody on board? Chad, are you on board?
I'm on board. You know what? I'll even take one further. If Miami beats Clemson, I don't think it'll happen. But if Miami beats Clemson, I will change my profile pic to a U, to a University of Miami U
with
for a week.
With a dick laying over it.
Someone will have to design it for me, but yeah, sure.
All right, guys. So, anybody got anything to add? No.
Go Irish.
Go Irish, and sorry about that. Sorry about that, USC. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the Podcast and College Football Dogs. And don't forget to stream in each Sunday evening for a live episode at 9 p.m. Eastern.